Today I'll be discussing the causes and effects of climate change in Los Angeles, with the fault line of Los Angeles and my primary stakeholder, Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, with a secondary stakeholder, California State Water Resources Control Board. Climate change is a global issue, but its causes and effects are most clearly felt at the local level, in cities like Los Angeles. Climate change is intensified by dense urban development, high population levels, and limited natural resources. My topic focuses on the causes and effects of climate change using Los Angeles as the fault line, and examines how key stakeholders respond to these challenges. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health and the California State Water Resources Control Board are central to this issue because climate change directly affects human health, water security, and community stability in the region. Los Angeles is a critical fault line. It experiences extreme heat, long droughts, air pollution, and water scarcity. These conditions are driven by both global climate change and local human activity. According to my first resource, which explains the general causes and effects of climate change, human activities such as burning fossil fuels, industrialization, and land use changes increase greenhouse gas emissions. These emissions trap heat in the atmosphere, leading to rising global and regional temperatures in Los Angeles. These global trends are magnified by urbanization, making climate change more severe at the local level. My first resource by Megan Evoli, Understanding Preferences for Tree Attributes, the Relative Effects of Socioeconomic and Local Environmental Factors, supports my research on the cause and effects of climate change in Los Angeles by showing how human preferences and economic factors affect the type of trees planted in urban areas, which will affect urban air, population, and economic systems. Trees play an important role in local climate effects, and human communities often influence the response to climate change. The first claim she reveals is a local environmental condition which shapes residents' preference for tree attributes, such as hotter climates will have neighborhoods covered in more trees, while colder climates lack trees. This suggests that local populations desire shade and cooling, mitigate heat stress. Our second claim is how urbanization can buffer climate impacts due to the preferences influencing the composition of urban forests. The study of tree planting choices to determine the kind of trees needing to be planted to provide shadability, biodiversity, providing urban areas to moderate extreme temperatures. My second resource, Investigating the Climate Impacts of Urbanization and the Potential for Coral Reefs to Encounter Future Climate Change in Southern California. So, this study identifies urbanization as a major cause of localized climate change, explaining how buildings, roads, and pavement trap heat and create the urban heat island effect. This is relevant in Los Angeles, where dense infrastructures increase temperatures beyond regional averages. Bauman's research is particularly important to the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health because it connects higher urban temperatures to increased health risks. The study also presents coral reefs as a solution that can lower temperatures and reduce heat exposure. This shows that climate mitigation strategies can function as public health measures, reinforcing the department's interest in climate-informed urban planning. Los Angeles County Department of Public Health is directly connected to this topic because climate change possesses serious risks to physical health. Rising temperatures increase heat-related illness, dehydration, and poor mortality. Poor air quality worsens by heat, and emissions contributes to respiratory illness such as asthma. Vulnerable populations, including children, the elderly, and low-income communities, are disproportionately affected, making climate change a health equity issue. Another major effect of climate change in Los Angeles is drought, which affects both environmental systems and social conditions. This is examined in my third resource, Impact of Drought on Crime in California and Synthetic Control Approach, by Donna Egoin. The study shows that prolonged drought can increase economic stress and social strain, which may contribute to crime rates. The resource applies directly to the Los Angeles fault line because drought is a persistent issue in Southern California. Scarce water levels raises the living costs, strains households, and communities. For the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, these outcomes are concerning because increasing crime and instability negatively impacts mental health, safety, and the community's well-being. This demonstrates how climate change can indirectly affect public health through social pathways. In this video, you will see various graphs showing some of the heat wave frequencies, durations of the season, and the intensity in Los Angeles. I'll also be giving charts of industrial, transportation, residence, commercial, agriculture, electricity, and much more graphs to show you some of the levels of what's been taking up in California. My fourth resource, Communicating Risk for a Climate-Sensitive Disease, a case study of valley fever in Central California by Melissa Matlock, connects to my topic, the causes and effects of climate change, by demonstrating how climate change increases the spread of climate-sensitive diseases. The study also explains how increasing temperatures, droughts, and often soil conditions highly impact our climate, allowing us to have an environment where climate factors can affect human health. This resource is relevant to my fault line, Los Angeles, because similar climate conditions are present in Southern California, raising the concern of climate-sensitive diseases to spread. It's very connected to my primary stakeholder, the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, because it emphasizes the importance of effective risk communication to protect the public. The department's role is to minimize and educate the people while reducing health impacts associated with climate change in LA. Beyond physical illness, the Department of Public Health also has an interest in mental health impacts related to climate change, extreme heat, drought, and environmental uncertainty, contributing to stress, anxiety, and emotional strain. Climate change therefore affects both physical and psychological well-being, expanding the department's responsibilities. Another important interest of the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health is climate-driven food security. Rising temperatures and drought disrupt agriculture and water supplies, reducing access to fresh and nutritious food. These challenges disproportionately affect low-income neighborhoods in Los Angeles, increasing the risk of malnutrition and diet-related illnesses. Addressing climate change helps promote food access and community resilience. The California State Water Resources Control Board, as a secondary stakeholder, is also invested in the topic because climate change threatens water availability and quality. Rising temperatures increase evaporation and water demand, while drought reduces supply. Within the Los Angeles fault line, these issues are especially severe due to the region's reliance on imported water. The board has an interest in ecosystem protection and infrastructure resilience. Climate change increases the likelihood of flooding after drought periods, overwhelming storm systems, and damaging waterways. Sustainable water management policies help protect both urban communities and natural ecosystems. In conclusion, Los Angeles has a complexity of reasons for the causes and effects which impact our environment and public health. From rising temperatures, droughts, stress, lack of food, disrupted water systems, and much more. Los Angeles County Department of Public Health and California State Water Resources Control Board are key stakeholders whose interests are deeply connected to the challenges protecting public health and mental well-being. Understanding the commonality between climate causes, effects, and stakeholders' responsibilities is a clear understanding of coordinate mitigation strategies and adaptation is needed. Public health, sustainable water management, urban cooling, and communities working together to reduce climate change in Los Angeles. Overall, addressing the climate change within my fault line is not only necessary, but public health as a societal priority, ensuring we continue to emphasize collaboration between agencies and communities. Addressing climate change within the Los Angeles fault line requires coordinated action that integrates public health, water management, and climate mitigation strategies. By treating climate change as both an environmental and public health emergency, Los Angeles can move toward a more resilient, equitable, and sustainable future. If we all take action, Los Angeles can reduce the impacts of climate change, protect public health, and create a more resilient and equitable future for generations to come. But not just Los Angeles, our whole nation. We have to continue to protect vulnerable communities and strengthen the ability to adapt to climate change as a whole. Thank you for tuning into my video on the causes and effects of climate change in Los Angeles, California.